Welcome to the show, Angels, Positivity, and Love. I'm your host, Michael André Ford. We've got a lot of amazing guests planned for 2023. Please be sure to subscribe while you're at my YouTube channel. On each episode, guests share their experiences helping others, their personal journey, and valuable lessons learned along the way. We also delve into the larger topics of the universe, love, and of course, angels. So sit back, relax, and be ready to be inspired and uplifted. Our guest today is the author of I Have Today, Find Your Passion, Purpose, and Smile, but also her latest book, you can see it behind her, A Better Today. She's host of the show by the same name, I Have Today. I believe Michael Sandler was her most recent guest there and premiered his baby. He's a pretty well-known figure, very positive, very happy. And she's been kind enough to have me on recently as well back in the fall. Now, a little bit of background about her. She's got a lot of talents, gifts, and so on. So I'll try to touch upon a few, but I'm going to go ahead and have her do some explaining in a moment. She was Coach of the Year in California in 2020. She's an executive contributor to Brains magazine in Sweden. She's an inventor, entrepreneur, business person, and mom to twins. But if you're going to remember one thing here, she's a mindset coach, an empath, and she's all about helping you manifest your dreams. Her energy is truly off the charts and amazing, and I am so glad to have her here with us. Diane Forster, welcome. Thank you for coming on.
Hi, Michael. I am so honored to be here. I'm so happy and proud of you. I don't want to say that, make that sound condescending, but yay you for launching your show. And I'm so honored and humbled to be your first guest. So it's going to be an amazing experience. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And if I could, Diane, in your own words, tell us what you do for people.
Okay, well, I help make people's dreams come true in the most simplest way I can say that. I see what's possible for them, and I help them believe in themselves and go after their goals, dreams, and desires, because I believe in them so much more than they believe in themselves. So I do it for them until they actually believe it. So, and what that means in a practical sense is I help people reinvent their lives so that they're living to their highest, greatest, fullest potential. That's what I've been doing in my coaching practice for the last 7 years. And so I do it in my coaching work, privately, one-on-one. I do it with all my programs that I have. I have courses on finding your passion and purpose, mindset manifestation, happiness formula, things related to that. And then I also do it with my platform, which is my television show and my podcast and speaking in interviews. So my goal, Michael, was given to me by Spirit almost 10 years ago to the date of a mission to touch the lives of 1 billion people who don't know their self-worth, to discover their true divinity, power, and purpose. And so I tap into a lot of people and a lot of resources to make that happen. And it drives me and it moves me every day. It was not my background story, but it is who I am now. And so I wake up every day thinking about whose lives can I inspire today. And I end the day with, I have it on a frame on my shelf over there. How many lives did I impact today? And so I'm so on purpose, and I'm so grateful that I received my purpose and answered the calling. So
I love it. And if most shows wait till the end to kind of plug something, but where can people go now? We're in a society, we love to look at our iPhones, iPads, or we like to multitask. If people want to peek right now, is it your website, or would you rather have them go to Amazon for A Better Today?
Well, I mean, you can go to my website, dianeforster.com, and learn more about me. But if you're really ready to make this new year and chapter of your life the best it can be, how you do that is you take action. And I would definitely get my book, A Better Today, because this book is a 30-day challenge. I call it a challenge, loosely call it a challenge, but it's a 30-day opportunity to create awareness. It's fun, easy things to do that will take your level of self-care to a whole new level. I had somebody who did it and she said, I didn't know I could have self-care at this level, Diane. And so it's fun, it's goofy, it's silly, it's written in conversation form that like the days are so easy to do. And you will start to build new habits because of the way I designed the book. There's repetition in it, and that's how we remember and create the new habits. So what a great fun way to start the new year is by creating more intention and being more aware of how you want to live and how you want to feel every day.
So it helps a person slow down,
yeah.
appreciate or increase their self-love, and identify some of their patterns, at least in a way that gets them to do the whole self-examination thing.
Yes, yes. And in fact, the first day is all I ask you to do is ask yourself all day long, why does this day keep getting better and better? Why does this day keep getting better? And watch how it starts to get better and better. And I can't tell you how many people have written to me or meet me and they're like, oh my God, it's my screensaver. You know, like that's what they use. And so that's what I'm talking about. Like that level of creating something that now I'm aware of it, that I actually am in control of this. And if your day's going good, it's just going to get better. And if it's not, it'll definitely get better. So just silly, fun things like that create awareness. So
sure. Now you've said publicly, and you are an empath, and you're definitely off the charts for energy. You're tapped in. You know how to listen. You know how to feel and see too. Describe for us in the audience, the viewer who's not sure about all this. Just tell us more about being an empath, and tell us more about your gifts in general.
Well, I didn't know I was an empath. I thought everybody felt this way. And my whole life I've had these empathic tendencies to other people, to really feel other people's energy and take them in. And I've never said this out loud before, and I'm receiving it right now, but I think I've been, in a way lazy in my life, but not because I'm a lazy person. I've just been, my energy has been depleted, and I didn't know I could boost that energy. Okay. So, what's it like to be an empath in my gifts? I have it all. I have all the clairs. I didn't always, or they weren't, they weren't lit up. But my first experience was knowing. I just had the knowing. I would, people would say things to me, or, present me with a question or a problem or a challenge, even before I was coaching, and I would just know the answer. I would just receive it in my mind and just, well, this is what you need to do. Like, this is the path to that. And then people also said to me, Michael, that I just feel like I can tell you anything. When I'm around you, I just feel like I just pour my soul out to you. So these are all little things that I was, kind of cataloging in my mind. And when I went through my process of inventing my kitchen product, that was before my suicide attempt. It was, I was still married at the time. I was still working at ABC, and I came up with this idea for a kitchen product, making deviled eggs one day in the kitchen. And I went to put paprika on them, and too much spice came out of the container and ruined the dish. And I instantly, in a flash, saw the sifting spoon in my mind. And I said it out loud, like, oh, it would be so cool to have a product like this. And then I set out on a quest to find it and couldn't find it. And I was driving and I heard very clearly, Diane, you need to create it. I hear in the left side, right? It comes right in. It's blocks of thought. Sometimes I get a lot. And so that started with the audio. And then what started to happen is, I had my breakdown moment. I had that suicide attempt. I got physically touched by spirit, knocking the pills out of my hand, and the voice screaming in my ear, you're not ending your life this way, Diane. Go get help so that you can tell your story and help others. And there were a few other moments in my life where spirit came in and moved stuff, slammed windows. Like, I know it was my mother. I was yelling at my daughter. My daughter was a baby, and I was just having a bad day. And I was taking it out on my poor innocent toddler, and I know she slammed. I immediately felt her. Like that was the first time I was like, oh, I think that was my mother. And then just more and more signs started to come in. And then I started to feel, and I would be coaching somebody and I would feel, I remember it clearly the first time there was a woman I was coaching. She was in my office with me, and her twin brother, who had crossed over, was pushing me to say, like, tell her I'm here. And so that started coming out in my coaching, like, this is your brother. I don't know his name, but I feel it. And then all of a sudden the names started dropping in and things started dropping in. But the best story, Michael, is the story of the first time I saw my mother. I was sitting in my apartment in Carlsbad. I had a producer over, a local producer in town, and I was sharing with him my vision of my TV show, the network, what we were building. And great guy, had met him before. And he's like, oh, you have the it factor. Like, let's definitely set up this meeting. So I was sharing this with him. And he turned to me and he said, oh, this is great. And he said, but I just need to ask you, like, there's a million of women out there like you. What makes you so special and think you can do this? And as I'm standing there looking at him over his shoulder, all of a sudden, full head to toe is my mother holding a Hollywood Walk of Fame star. You know, the Hollywood, holding it.
Yeah.
And she went, not him. She goes, this is you. And I just sat there. I saw the whole thing. I did not react. I was in shock, but clear as day, as if she was standing. I want to say she looked like she was about 38, 40 years old. That's how I remember her at that time. Like that's her right then and there. And I've been seeing people ever since. I see her quite a bit. She's hilarious. She lays on my couch talking to me. She sits in the car with me. And so that's how it started to come in. It was coming in as I was prepared to receive it. So, yeah.
And that's great. And that means you also have some serious depth or ability to receive this. We'll call it a catcher's mitt. So you're already like a Major League Baseball player, because a lot of us can be skittish if the first thing happens and you run for the hills. Yeah. So with that, why don't you tell us a couple instances where you've just had an amazing, you still view it as a highlight of your career, when you help someone, you're helping them first slow down, first identify what it is they really want, not what they think they want. You help them identify their flow. You're getting them to really get reconnected to their higher self again, I'm guessing. But tell us a couple of instances, you know, nobody's names or anything like that, but tell us a couple times you've helped folks out and give us some flavor.
Oh my gosh. Well, of course, the first thing that just, you know, they showed me and they said, you need to tell them about July 11th, 2017. That's what I heard. So July 11th, 2017, I was out on a morning walk. I had coached a client the day before. One of my clients, beautiful woman who's a little bit overweight. You know, she's categorized as obese, but she was carrying around extra weight. She had a few medical conditions. She had Lyme disease, some other things going on with her. She was in a second marriage of her life and was not going well. She was the primary breadwinner in the house, and she had a lot of things going on that I was trying to, was coaching her through to help improve her life. And so I'm on my morning walk and I said to Spirit, how can I help her? How can I help this woman? Like, please show me the way. And they instantly dropped in my head, create a mantra meditation for her. Go home and record the words for her she needs to hear. We'll guide you. We'll give them to you, but do that for her. So Michael, I went home, held up my phone, sat in my loft, and just recorded this recording. And I want to say it was not even 5 minutes. It was about under 5 minutes. So I sent it to her and I said, you're laying around anyway. You got nowhere to go. Oh, I forgot a big piece of this story. What happened was she was so sick and she had an accident. She fell and broke her bone in her arm in 2 different places and was going to be laid up for 6 months. That's a very important piece I forgot to tell you. So she wasn't going to be able to work. Now she was stuck in bed for so long. She was in a really bad state. So that's what I sent. I sent it to her and I said, just listen to this. You're laying around. You can't do anything anyway. And she said, okay. She went to the doctor under a week later, and he said to her, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it because your bone's healing so beautifully. She did not need any surgery, and she was back at work in under a month. And I went, holy cow, I might be onto something here. So I started calling all my clients and I said, would you mind if I gave you something? And they said, sure, do it. And boom, 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 like women finding love, getting clients, like they're going, everything in my life is magically all coming together with these mantra meditations I was making for them. Now, here's the thing. They were very specific for the client. They were not generic. I have generic ones that are very powerful, but they were very, very specific for them. And so things started changing, and they were having different lives within 30 to 90 days. So that is one of the most amazing stories, that me being in service and asking for help and listening, having the ability to listen in and then take the action to do it, has transformed so many people's lives.
Well, that's putting you into the Indian guru category with the delivery of mantras, or Native American chiefs or angels give mantras. But I got to do this for you. What amazing wisdom, patience, and maturity to be able to go 180 degrees so much from it being about getting your act together, your life together, and getting forward momentum going in the directions you want, to also having the bandwidth, the desire, the foundation to turn around and help others. And I love that you already answered the next question, which was, is it tailored? Is it generic? It's both. Could you, I know we've talked about I Have Today, and that's the beginning of an opportunity for you to put out there what you want to have happen in your day. Why don't you tackle I Have Today, the concept, because it's a beautiful concept that ripples. And why don't you give us a fresh mantra? We'll do some listening together, angels and stuff, in a little bit. But why don't you give us a fresh mantra, but show how any mantra, there's an invisible energy. We'll call it love. It's within you. It's around you. It's interdimensional. Why don't you give us some language about, we'll start to touch on the big picture, the universe. Why don't you give us some language like the movie Love Actually, or the Beatles song, Love Is All There Is, and all that other stuff. Why don't we tie it all together through your two I Have Today, come up with another mantra, and educate us a little bit about mantras right now.
Yes. Okay. Well, the gift of I Have Today, which is the name of my company, the name of my first book, the name of my show, and the mantra that I live life by, really says, those three words say it all. Because it's all we have, Michael, as you know. All we have is today. So I Have Today is the way I start every mantra meditation, actually how I start them. And I will do one right now. I'm happy to do one because they're already speaking to me, and I know what to say. What a mantra is a mantra meditation. A mantra is a series of words, or a sentence strung together, like what the mantra is. The meditation part of it is being able to tap in, close your eyes, and get to a more relaxed state and quiet the mind so that the piercing can happen. The healing can happen, the penetration can happen of the words. So I call it mantra meditations because that's what they are, and that's what they do. So if you're game, I'll just do a brief one. And here's the thing, here's the power behind my work is there's a million meditations out there and apps and all of that. Mine are very short, quick, to the point. They speak fast, and they do the work for you, because what their purpose is to increase that frequency, your vibration, your emotions, get you closer to love, get you closer to empowerment, to as quickly as you possibly can. So they're great for snapping you out of something. They're a great way to start the day. So I have them out there, and I get all this great feedback. So let's do one right now. If you want to close your eyes for a minute, you don't have to, but you can. just close your eyes. And anyone who's watching this or listening to this, please close your eyes too, so you can really feel it, and just take it all in. I have today to love my life. Something really good is going to happen to me today. I can feel it. Miracles, big and small. I notice them all. Yes, 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 thank you. I have today to understand my power and worthiness, and know that I am deserving of anything and everything that I want in this life, and that I am pure, positive love. That all love is all there is. It's the one and only thing. This dear universe and life that we live in only knows one word and one emotion, and that word is love. I mean, that emotion is love, and that word is yes. So whatever I'm putting out in the universe, I'm getting more of. I'm going to stay focused on the positivity and the gratitude, and I'm going to focus the lens of my eyes on only the good, only the grace, because what I focus on expands. And if I can let go, find the gifts, and release the things that I perceive as negative and problems in my life, and know that it's just temporary, it's not who I am, these moments will pass, I can find the gifts in them. The more and more I live in my light and love and gratitude, the more and more open I am to receiving all the love that's coming towards me, all the support from the angels and guides, everything that's available to me and for me. I'm going to live in this power every day. I'm going to remember this always. I'm going to be intentional, and I'm always going to remember to live the I have today way. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's follow up with this. There's resistance in all of us. Call it thinking, call it whatever, conditioning, call it stuff. But there's also possibility, and as I mentioned, positivity, part of the name of the show, which I always say positivity is abundance. Now, nothing that I'm saying, if it sounds sharp, it came from angels or guides. So that was something that I think Archangel Michael said. Why don't you talk a little bit about, there's natural resistance. We know what we know. That's not going to help us get out of our situation. It's something beyond that. You have to let go. Don't have to call it surrender. Maybe you do. What do you call the dynamics involved that helps a person get out of being stuck and into more openness or growth?
Well, awareness that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. We've heard that a million times, but really to really understand that, when you're in a place where your thoughts or your feelings or your language is coming from a place of resistance, that's where you're disconnected from your soul and of who you truly are. And that's very painful. So when you're feeling that in that moment, I'm just having a low vibing reaction right now. And I'm feeling the separation of who I am. When you're deep in it and it's hard, you just need to do anything in that moment that will give you even the slightest relief. And that might be calling somebody, that might be taking a nap, that might be deep breathing, which always helps, because the resistance, like everything else, will pass. Because you and I know this, Michael, nothing's stagnant. Everything is energy and it's moving, and it will pass. So to have that heightened awareness, which you're going to learn about,
Yep.
in every moment, you can start to have a higher level of perspective. I don't want to say that, the 35,000 foot view. You can say that, but say, oh, this is just, I'm separate from who I really am right now. That's why this doesn't feel good. Because it's what we do is when we're feeling resistance, we're going against the energetic flow of the universe. The universe, we're surrounded by a toroidal field of energy, and the energy goes this way, right? We're receiving, we're allowing, right? This is the way the energy moves. So when we're doing this, we're fighting against the universal flow. And so Abraham Hicks says it like, let go of the oars. What are you doing trying to swim upstream? You're not supposed to be. Like, let go of the oars and go down with it. So you can allow yourself to feel it in that moment, like Michael Singer writes about in Untethered Soul, and know that it's going to pass. It really is going to pass. And I hope that helped. one of the things I do sometimes is I'll say it out loud, or I'll write it down, get it up and out of me and go, I know this isn't who I truly am. And I tell my clients, just say to yourself, a year from now, this won't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. This too shall pass. Or I believe one of the Native American chiefs that have been around since my dad died in 1970, but it's Dull Knife Redshirt or Geronimo. Feel what you feel, do not judge. I like that.
Beautiful. Yes.
So, and Abraham Hicks, Esther Hicks, pivoting. I think we were not necessarily exactly the same way, talking about that a little bit. If you had a book or two that wasn't yours, what are some favorites of yours? Is it Peaceful Warrior, Four Agreements? Is it Esther Hicks stuff, Vortex? What are a couple books people could read?
100% Ask and It Is Given.
Okay.
By Abraham Hicks. First book. That book changed my life. Do you have it?
Yeah.
Yep. The book totally changed my life. I pick it up, I read it, not every year, but I pick it up frequently. When I discovered that book, a year later, my whole life was reinvented. Like everything in my life was reinvented. So that is definitely one. Oh my God. Oh, and U Squared by Price Pritchett.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
Oh my God, you got to get that book. It is
Okay.
tiny. You can read it in a night. Every word of that book is magic. It's so much about the quantum field, and it's so much about empowering you. And of course, there's many, many others, but I read that book every year. And I'm big at getting, my children get books and experiences. That's what they give me. So every time I buy something that I really like, I buy copies for my kids. Sometimes I send them to my clients and do that. And those are two powerful books.
Say the name of the book again and the author, if you could, for the last one.
U Squared. So YOU and the number 2, and that's Price Pritchett.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, so are you ready to smell some sage? Which, by the way, we've done it before, like today, and then we did it before we really got started talking about anything. But so we know we can do this. But I'm going to light some sage for anybody out there that doesn't know what's going on. I've done this a lot in 2022. It just sort of came. There's no limits, and this is really what she was talking about with energy for the audience. If love's the fabric of the universe, the force from Star Wars, there's just a little positivity around you, within you all the time. Everything's connected. Then this is just letting some sage smoke come your way. So you're welcome to do this at home. Replay the tape. I'd probably replay the whole show actually in a moment to get you even more in the vibe. If you were peeking at our website at the beginning or looking up that book just now, maybe watch this again to get into the flow, because when you listen to Diane, you're definitely getting into the mode. Here's some sage smoke though. And my only suggestion for the audience is just give yourself permission to let go. Enjoy. Ask your guides, ask your angels to bring it to you wherever you are, Canada, Australia, watching. And then we're very one-dimensional in that we're feeling it, we're smelling it, we're tasting it in our mouth maybe. Why don't you do something with it? Have it clear out your house. Send it to your loved one. Send it to your other place you've got to be in a moment. Have it create even more space, more love, more sparkle. You want angels to come on your eyelids and do a little fireworks show to crack you up, Diane. Ask for it. And what I'll do is put a few photos up of angels with Diane's permission. And we'll see if you want to either do listening for yourself or listening for the audience. I can give you a few topics, just like I'll give you an example. For 10 years, when you ask angels about compassion, no two definitions have been the same. So Mother Teresa once said, compassion is not about any one person's happiness. A passed over dog of ours said, compassion is a walk. I think Mother Teresa even said a separate time, compassion is like a deep breath for many, because we're moving so fast. And I just love those statements. So the very first angel people get to meet is Joy. She's the emotion joy. And Diane, why don't you get a couple hugs, see a little bit of light around you to catch you off guard just a little so you have fun. And why don't you get a message from her through you for everybody for 2023, something about compassion, just going with the flow, the theme of the show today.
What I'm picking up right away, the language that I'm picking up is that this is your year. Focus on you. Really get intentional about self-love, self-care, self-joy, self-happiness, very selfish in a good way, like be
Yeah.
selfish this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Esther talks about that sometimes because there's nothing wrong with it. It's how you get started lighting up your furnace for love, because you've got to do self-love first before you can, quote, go change the world or be the change or try to help someone else out. You've got to get your love factor, multiplied. Okay.
Right.
There's an angel named Charlotte, who's everybody's favorite school teacher. If it was third grade Mrs. Wilson, think of her as her. She's simply got wisdom, words of growth for you. Here to help you expand, so to speak. If you want to listen to Charlotte, tune in.
Mm-hmm.
And would you?
Well, I see her. My vision of her is brunette, short hair, have a bigger woman, probably in her 60s, and she's saying, enjoy life more, don't worry so much. That's what I heard. I could be totally wrong, but that's what I'm picking up.
No, I love it. Okay, I'll put up a silhouette of an angel named Min, like Minnesota, light waves of energy and water. My guardian angel. She's a lot of fun. If you like Hawaii, you can start to smell Maui, a little bit of Hawaiian Ocean around you, and just let some love come in that way.
Yeah.
And if you want to get a little bit of glitter in the air around you, a little bit of rainbow glitter, smell a little bit of sea air is the best I can do. I'll blow into the microphone. You might get a little sparkle via angels on your nose.
Wow.
So why don't we get a mantra from Minwala? She's just here to help, unconditional love. But why don't we get a mantra for us all? Because there's a million mantras and you can't beat an angel giving us a mantra right now.
She wants us to dance more. I have today to dance more.
And I love how you worked in I have today. And you ask all your guests on the show. If anyone hasn't watched her show, they should do so, because one of the moments in every show is a chance for the guest to come on and add to the rest of I have today. And I'm going to encourage folks to take just 10 seconds, to work on your mindset. And we'll just flip that around. You have a set mind, whether you know it or not, half the time or 80% of your day. And that's the big opportunity. It's not my problem it's just an opportunity to pump the brakes and go all Diane Forster on this. Get the wrench out, open up the heart. There's a couple double doors, unfortunately. They're there and they're not there. Get into your heart and start moving around a little bit more. Open up. You don't just get answers. You can get hugs, you can see, but with a mantra, it's fun. So Diane, tell us a little bit more again about what you do for folks or what's coming up on the horizon this year, maybe next year. Is there a secret business you haven't launched yet that we're not supposed to know about, but that it's percolating?
Yes, there is. And actually you can know about it because it's in the development stages. And I thank you for asking me this question. And for everybody out there, this is your invitation to dream bigger. Dream as big as you can possibly dream, because if you would have known me 10 years ago, undiagnosed depressed, carrying around extra weight, in a very unhappy marriage, felt stuck in my career, was just waking up every day exhausted. If you would have said that my life would be like this 10 years later, I would have never believed you. I would have called you crazy. But I listened to the calling and the visualizations of the dream. And it doesn't matter when in your timeline that vision comes in, it's yours to create. And so what I'm doing is I am launching a television network in personal development and transformation later this year. Michael, I'm very, very excited about it. It's going to be fill a gap and an opportunity for so many people out there who feel stuck or lost or in transition, and they need help, but they don't know how to get it, or they can't afford it, or all the resources are going to be there for them. So I'm very, very excited about that. And what I'm doing is I'm taking my all of these higher vibration 5D gifts that I have and beyond, right? And combining them with my 3D gifts of being a really good strategist and planner and hosting a TV show and being in advertising and media for 4 decades.
Yep.
And teaching other people how to launch and start in their own show too, whether they're on my network or not. It's my belief that you're doing it right now. You're launching this show, you're premiering it with me. What a gift, what an honor. You're taking your work that you're here to do to a whole new level to be able to reach and help so many other people. And the universe loves that. God loves that. So what I'm doing is I've been doing this for a while, and now I'm helping others create the platform for them to do it authentically, who they're supposed to be reaching, how they should be reaching them, and helping them do that. And then the goal is obviously to launch the network that's coming out. So it's very, very exciting and big. If I don't, big is relative, right? But my point is, it started out with a poem that I came up with, that Spirit gave me in August of 2013, the I Have Today poem that launched this entire business that's happening. So the acorn does not become the oak tree. The acorn becomes the forest of oak trees. And so dream big, because you don't know what's possible, and go after those dreams. So that's what we're doing. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love saying no limits, but I like what you said, because there's a no in there, and the universe doesn't hear no's. So all possibility would probably be better than no limits. So yes. Love it.
So yeah, anything's possible. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on this show. Is there anything else that you can think of, a final mantra for us all? The concept of letting go, the concept of taking the leap. It could be considered a leap of faith, a leap of non-faith. I mean, faith, non-religious, religious. Letting go is letting go. The details that we think are important, that are causing the stress, the suffering, the resistance, aren't what we're talking about here. So maybe one last chat about how we're placing our focus, where we're placing our focus. We have so much energy, and half the time we're spending it in a way that we don't realize is like seaweed underneath the sailboat stuck on the keel. It's a drag. It slows our momentum down. It even does worse than that. It's like hitting rocks with a sailboat sometimes. How do we clean up our sailboat and get moving easier, letting the universe do the rest for us? I love that as a final sort of topic before we hop off here. How do we let the universe do its job? And I'm gonna mention angels. If I've got thousands of photos of angels, and I've helped a few thousand folks for 10 years now actually see angels, hear angels, get hugs, I won't be shy. Angels exist. Just trust that it's so. How do we let angels do their jobs? Our relatives, our guides, the universe. Give us the pep talk, because you've been doing that the whole show, and I love it. It's just resonated. Give us that final bit of getting started. How do we let everybody else start getting involved and helping us?
Yeah. I don't know where it got ingrained in us that we have to figure this stuff out all by ourselves, but somewhere along the way, whether it was the way we were raised in school and grades and, all the things, but think about how it feels. This is the best way I can explain it right now for you out there who's listening or watching, for you to really get it. You know how good it feels when you help somebody? You know how good it feels when you gift somebody, and that is just the most rewarding feeling in the world. That's angels' jobs 100% of the time. And they're way more powerful than us, but they will not interfere if you don't grant them permission. We live in this, like I said, the energy is moving. And if you are constantly putting out, and not taking in and receiving the help and support and love that's available for you, you're screwing up your karma agreement, right? You're going to continue to struggle. So surrender is my favorite word. So know that what you want to do is grant permission to the angels to step in. They will not interfere in a way that's going to hurt you. They're only going to support you 100%. but allow them and tap into them, calling all angels and guides of the highest truth and compassion, my tribe, my angels, my guardian angels, my higher self, my ancestors, God, Jesus, Allah, Buddha, whomever, Mother Mary, any and all entities that are available for me. Archangel Michael, he's my guy. He's another Michael in my life, right? I grant all of you permission to step into my life and support me, protect me, guide me, give me the answers, direct me, love on me. And that's really the mantra that I want to leave with today, is just having that be how you start every day and end every day. And feel free to use that throughout the day, especially when you're in a struggle. You're at a red light, calling all angels and guides, just letting you know that I'm here. Thank you. Make this trip home easy for me. Let it flow. Let it be fun. Whatever, but start the awareness of talking to the angels all the time. I really want to tap into that for you, Michael, because that's your world. It's my world too, but it's really your world. So anybody listening to this can know from now on, I'm going to tap into the resources of the angels, because that's their job. And I'm going to give them the permission to complete their karmic contract with me. So
I love how you said that. Allow more, love more, ask more, give yourself a break if any thinking pops up, any doubt, worry, am I doing it right? You're doing fine. It's learning to trust whatever this is, the big heart that you already have, bigger than you would ever imagine. In fact, you could argue the whole life journey is discovering how amazing, how much more love you have to give, no matter what plateau you hit.
yeah,
Yes.
so true.
Well,
Yeah.
Diane Forster, thank you very much for coming on. There's obviously going to be details all over this video with respect to websites, your books, Amazon links, stuff like that. But it's dianeforster.com, FORSTER.com if you're just listening to the show. Definitely hit up YouTube, though. Watch this again when it came to those angel cards. Those are actual photos of angels. Let Diane's vibe. She did a great job today. Let it sink in even more than it has if you're following along now. Go back, start over. If you want to close your eyes, do it, but come back for the angel photos and let Diane's presence help you out to trust that you can hear. Maybe the photograph moves or changes color. You go to my website, you'll see Audrey Hepburn's classic photo, a historical photo, can wink, smile, nod, eyebrow goes up, and so on. So look, there's a lot of possibility. There's a lot of fun that we had in this show. Thank you so much, Diane, for being on.
Thank you so much for having me, Michael. Best of luck with the show. And I know that you and I will be connected again soon. I really appreciate it.
I'll see you soon.